Say, you know who's cool? Jango Fett. Say, you know who's cool? Boba Fett.
Okay, let me just wipe your mind of that intro for a minute.
Alright, cool. Boba Fett. Fucking A, right?
Despite the fact that he had just 5 lines in the original trilogy, we all just became completely enamored with the guy. So much so that he ranks up there with Luke, Leia, Han, and Porkins as among Star Wars' fan favourite characters.
But why?
Maybe it's because we all saw the potential, the promise this character had to be featured perhaps in his own standalone narrative. Boba Fett, a Star Wars story, coming 2022.
Shut up and take my money!
But, for the time being, we actually kinda already have a Boba Fett movie. Except it's not really a movie, it's a game, and it's about his dad. It's the best we've got. I mean, if you want a movie that features a Fett more prominently, there's always the film that has the scene with the wanky Wookiee. So shall I show more of that clip, or should I play what's on the TV right now?
The TV! The TV!
Good choice.
Oh, LucasArts. Now that takes me right fucking back. You know, to a time where Disney didn't own everything. You know what I always love to see in their games were these fun ways they mess with their own logo.
Like, check out this little bit of genius. Is it sad to say that what you just saw was the best thing about this game?
Alright, okay, that's harsh. There's actually a lot to love here. It's just that there's an equal amount of meh here too.
But let me first give you the lowdown on the story, because it's actually pretty interesting. So, if you please, do like the load screen of Abe's Exodus. Sit down and... Shut up!
Star Wars Bounty Hunter was about as cinematic as Star Wars games got in the early noughties. It takes place just after the events of the Phantom Menace and actually delves into some pretty important plot details regarding how the clone army came to be. Sidious tasks Dooku to find a worthy host for said army, and instead of doing what any sane being would do and just clone Chuck Norris a couple of million times, he puts out a bounty on his ex-apprentice Asajj Ventress, Vosa, as a test. Whoever kills Vosa cashes in on 5 million Republic credits.
5 million!
So, long story short, Jango tracks down Vosa, she dies by asphyxiation, which I'm going to assume was a turn on for her considering her attire. Dooku shows up, deems Jango fit to become the clone army host, he goes into a sperm clinic, Jango is back for a couple of minutes, gives the Kaminoans a sample, and 10 years later, he's one happy daddy. Cue episode 2. But what immediately got my attention here is that, for what little story they're able to put into a 5-hour campaign, it's actually pretty well written with some cool, interesting characters, all of which have good on-screen chemistry. Start taking notes, my good man. Now you got Tamura Morrison and Leanna Walsman reprising their roles from the movie, and because they're more the focus this time around, they're given a lot more time to shine, which is great because I thought Morrison was one of the few good things about episode 2. I really wanted to see more from him, and this game offers a glimpse into what Jango could have been.
Interested in a jetpack? Barely a scratch on it. It'll look great with that battle armor. The same color even.
I'll take that off your hands.
How much you offering?
Your life.
That was badass. I mean, badassery is to be expected from a Kiwi. You know, they're the only people on the planet who can stick their tongue out at you and have it come across as threatening. Jesus!
You also got Montross, voiced by the man with the grumpiest Wikipedia profile pic in the world, Clancy Brown.
Yeah, this Clancy Brown.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-chingery. Money, oh money, how I love thee. The money means nothing.
Oh. Anyway, Montross is a real highlight here. Makes me sad this guy was never in any of the films because he has some great lines.
If you're here to question this gangster, I'm afraid he doesn't have much more to say. He just froze up on me.
I bet Joe Schumacher's kicking himself right now, you know, for not coming up with that one himself.
No, that was fucking brilliant. Why did I not think of that? And finally, you got my personal favourite character, the Tadarian Roz.
Think Waro, just less racially insensitive.
Anyway, she acts as a sort of liaison for Jango, finding him new bounties, and she's actually what makes the cutscenes pop.
You didn't tell me your new partner was such a looker.
She's got nothing on you, Ross.
Oh, your flattery means you need something from me, right?
Wait, stop. This came out the exact same year episode 2 was in cinemas. And this dialogue isn't making me cringe, it's actually charming and funny. Ugh.
It's sad, but it's true, people. The writing here is miles better than the prequels, and the sorry state of episodes 1 through 3 gets even more depressing when you realise that the writer and director of this game, one John Knowles, has literally not written another thing in his life.
I quit.
I mean, okay, I may be overselling it a bit. The story isn't anything spectacular. I mean, it doesn't come close to Knights of the Old Republic, for example. But for a third-person shooter with such a short campaign...
It's, Ollie?
Not too bad.
Exactly.
So let's get on with the actual game, and... yeah, there's an immediate problem. You see, Bounty Hunter came out in 2002, back when third-person shooters were a bit, shit. Instead of having a shoulder button aimed down your sight so you can manually aim, a la every third-person shooter released today, you have to rely on an automatic lock-on system, which is 50% functional and 50%
bullshit.
You see, it only works when enemies are close, so often you find yourself just fumbling around trying to get Jango to lock onto the enemy you want.
Jango, I just want you to lock onto this dude. If you could just point your guns at him and make orphans of his children, then that'd be great!
But I gotta mention this, of course. What's a Bounty Hunter game without his arsenal? And Jango's got the lot. Whipcord, big guns, grenade launchers, codpiece. But Jango's main weapon of choice are his trusty dual blasters. Now, these things are awesome in design, but they're a tad tiresome in use.
I feel like I'm jerking off. Remove that at once. Thank you.
Yeah, there's pretty much no limit to how fast Jango can shoot these, so in order to do the most damage, you have to keep tapping as fast as you can.
I mean, if there was only some way you could hold down the button instead of tapping it over and over and... Of course! Shift and a turbo! Alright, I always wanted to do that. Now let's see what this baby can do. Fuck me with a death stick! Woohoo! Okay, this game suddenly picks up again. Unlimited power!
Yep, this is mandatory, people. If you're at all interested in playing Bounty Hunter, get a turbo controller, cause without it, you will die. Of course, this makes every other weapon in the game completely redundant, but it's not as if they're any good anyway.
Okay, up ahead you can see the turret guy in his natural habitat, so I'm going to take him out with a well-placed missile to the face. Just line up my shots and fire. Well, I missed. Wait. I meant to do that.
Now regarding the other weapons at your disposal, you got Jango's poison darts, but I liken these things to ethers in RPGs, in that you have limited amounts of them, so you decide to save them for when you need them, only to realise that by the time you beat the game, you barely used any at all. The flamethrower is pretty sweet though, very good in close quarters and fantastic for clearing out these Bando Gora dickweeds. Though there is one of these late stages that always confused me.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, Jango's decided to take a little personal time. He has a thing for fucking the air.
So, sex fetishes you never knew existed aside, you may be interested to know that Star Wars Bounty Hunter is quite platformer heavy, as you can imagine being equipped with a jetpack. But there's a teeny tiny problem.
You don't fly with the jetpack. You hover with it, and the jetpack only hovers in the air for about 2 seconds before it runs out of juice. Yeah, you heard that right. 2 seconds. Need a reminder that real life jetpacks fly longer than this. Break out the champagne, folks. We have officially surpassed Star Wars technology.
Fuck yeah!
The jetpack is somewhat fun to use despite its limitations though. Combine it with Jango's jumps and you got something at... Oh, wow.
Jango, you got some moves.
I mean, holy shit, give up this bounty hunting phase, go pursue a career as an Olympic athlete. And represented Mandalore, Jango Fett. Oops. Like father, like son?
That's what you call ironic.
But this game annoys me. For everything it does right, it does something equally wrong. Case in point, the enemies you Oh. Did you see that shit?
Dude, not cool.
Little bastard shot me in the ass.
Yeah, let's talk enemy AI for a bit. And Bounty Hunter has some questionable examples of it. I think the worst instances are these NPCs the developers forgot to animate in the background. I mean, look at them with their arms up like they're JC on the cross. How the hell did LucasArts not notice this? Fuck if I know. You also got this dude who got stuck doing taunts for a millennia.
Blast. Get down. Find some cover. Bring it on. Find cover, quick.
But hey, I'm missing one of the vital ingredients here. The game's called Bounty Hunter after all, so unless Jango has a fetish for coconut flavoured chocolate bars, I'm gonna need to see some dudes I could take in. Dead or alive. Yeah! Well, some good news and some bad news. The good news is there's bounties aplenty. The bad news is that the bounty capture mechanic is monumentally shit. Here's the lowdown. Jango comes equipped with a scanner built into his helmet, and by hovering over an NPC, you can see if they have a bounty on him or not. You mark him with square, and either kill him or take him in alive by using your whipcord. Hit triangle and you, jump cut them out of existence? Okay. But that's not the issue, because while some bounties in the game are just normal NPCs on the field, many are trying to kill you. And when a guy is trying to pump your gut full of laser, the last thing on your mind is to stop dead in your tracks and scan him from a first person perspective to see if he might have a bounty on him. And there's a fuck ton of enemies, so if you want to find every bounty in Star Wars Bounty Hunter, you're going to need to scan every NPC in the game. So you might be thinking, what can you get with the credits you earn? Weapon upgrades, extra ammo, added mobility options?
Well, if you think that, then I can safely tell you that you are truly, deeply
Wrong! Because the only thing these credits unlock are game artwork and fucking trading cards. And yeah, this isn't like Gwent or Pazak where you can actually play with them. No, these are real life trading cards that some twat at LucasArts probably just scanned into the game on their lunch break.
Brilliant but lazy.
Well, okay, there is actually one really cool unlockable, though you get this just by beating the game, so screw the bounties, just get Versa, and reward yourself by watching these funny machinima outtakes.
I can't see a thing in this helmet. How am I supposed to hunt? This jetpack weighs a ton. Where's the prop man? My blasters are jammed again. I've got a niche and I can't scratch it.
Though I think my favourite one has got to be this dance number.
So all in all, I'd still call this game pretty good. Sure, it's dated, short, a tad repetitive, and if you don't have a turbo controller, it's hard as balls. But for 2002 at least, this was up there with some of the better Star Wars games. The gameplay is better than it looks at least, because whilst the ILM produced cutscenes hold up graphically, the game itself, not so much. The character models are especially bad. They're just flat, lifeless, pixelated, and man are they ugly. Oh, but I mean, not everything is terrible. Gotta love that background art. Mark Rothko would be proud. Anywho, this game is in need of a serious refresh. I liken the game much in the same way as the Fett characters. I can see so much potential here. I want to see another bounty hunter game hit modern consoles. Modernize the control scheme and give it graphics akin to this, it'd kick ass. I mean, I guess we might get something akin to a superior bounty hunter game with Star Wars 1313, but with Disney buying LucasArts, I'm worried this will never see the light of day. Come on Disney, people want to give you their money. Do like Fry says.
Stop acting so stupid!
So today's chapter comes to a close. We have officially looked at Jango Fett's magnum opus. Next time we take a look at his what's the opposite of a magnum opus? Minimus shitus. Yeah, that'll do. Till next time.